All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Let's try that again. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Happy Monday. Hello, Jen. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
It's almost not morning, but
But it still is.
So today we're going to talk about things that we notice or we focus on in our businesses that aren't necessarily important. They're things that clients might not notice at all. And so we will dive into some of those things because I don't know about you, but I've been completely guilty of it in the past with other businesses, but putting way too much effort into things that don't matter and then overlooking all the actual important stuff. And the only reason I know this stuff is because experience, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And then client feedback. So anyways, we always start with our
opening takes.
Let's do this.
All right, who's going first? I actually have two.
I'm going to go first, and I have two. The first one's real quick. I just learned how to do not disturb on my computer, and I'm very impressed with myself. Todd walked me through the steps, and I accomplished the task. Anyway, my second one, the real one, I want to talk a little bit about what I've been seeing on some posts. I see recently a lot about what hair shows should I go to? What hair shows should I take my staff to? And then the second follow-up with all of those is my staff doesn't want to go to any of this. How do I motivate them to go to it? So we talk a lot about mindset. If your staff doesn't want to go to hair shows, why are you making them go to hair shows? And if you're trying to look for something to do as a team, why don't you change your narrative there and come up with an event that they would want to go to? So we do different events every year at Hello Hair Co. And it really depends on, in my opinion, what the staff needs. So some years it's more technical based on their skill set improving, and there's lots of education and classes coming in. This year, it's very much more balanced. So we have definitely educations on the docket. We're hitting a couple of those this month. But then there are some things that I thought would be really important for the staff from a personal development side. So next month, we are booking a night out to take them to yoga. They can come or not come, but I just put the date out there, the time, who's in, and we're treating you. It's our team outing. And the other one we're doing this year is in the works, is a cooking class. And these are things that I want our staff to take notice of their body. So if they want to work for 26 so years like myself, that they understand what their body needs to be capable of in order to do that. And a lot of our staff starting to move out and be on their own. And I would like to give them the tools to learn how to cook so they can take care of themselves and eat well. And these two things also help them be better in our business, because if they're taking care of their well-being and they're eating good, then they're going to show up as a better staff and they're going to be happier and healthier. So I think if you're trying to force your staff to do certain events or team outings and it's not working, then change what those events look like and put together stuff that actually they would want to be at. That's what I got.
Do you think the reason that people are wanting to force their staff to go to hair shows is because they saw someone else doing it and they just are following suit because they don't know what to do?
I would say either that or it's something they've always done, so they just think they're supposed to keep doing the same thing, right? No one wants to recreate the wheel. So they were brought up going to hair shows, so they just think, oh, I'm an owner now, we gotta go to hair shows. I don't know what value you really get out of hair shows. I went when I was younger, and
so that's what I wanted to touch on. Since this episode is really relaxed, we can expand on these a little bit because we've got time. I think the larger the event, the less you're taking out of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The larger the event, the more of a commercial it becomes.
Correct.
Because now you're in front of thousands of people instead of 20 people. And companies, I'm not faulting them for this, but they can't help it but to advertise their product because they're in front of so many people.
Well, that's really what those shows are about, is they're trying to just sell you the newest comb or the newest bleach or the newest whatever. They're not truly going to do much for your staff's technical development.
No, I would say if you want to develop your staff technically, bring someone in to do some classes with your staff, and even break up your staff. If you're in the position to where maybe you have, say you have 10 staff, maybe you have a group of 5 and a group of 5, and then maybe you do a second day with the educator, and then, or maybe it's a half day of 5, a half day of 5 for the other people. And then the second day, everybody's together to bring it. I don't know. There's just so many options out there. And I think we get stuck in this cycle of this is just how it's done. Like you go to hair shows. I never learned anything. Like the bigger the show, I've learned nothing. at all.
Yeah, I just went for the fun of a trip. That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect to get anything out of it.
And it's the same thing with other industries too. When I had the gym, I remember exactly the same thing. Like when you worked with a small group, you learned a ton.
Mm.
When you took one of those big weekend courses, you learned some stuff, but a lot less because it was all targeted towards whatever the main event was at the end. And that was the product they were trying to sell
Right.
you.
I think too, my point with the opening take was I see these owners that are salty that they're like, nobody wants to do these things with me. And so there's the problem, but you're trying to still do the same things. Like you're trying to make someone fit into something that's not working. Why not look at what they either could use, that's like where we come from, or something just different that maybe they would want. You could even ask them. I'm in the salon enough with the staff that I can see what they need. And this year, really some stuff to help some personal development was important to me for them. And they're all embracing it. We have the yoga class we're doing, everybody's going, which is just awesome because it's something they want to go to and be around their team.
Yeah, I agree totally with the forcing thing. I don't understand why people force people to do stuff. That's that person. So if that person was at my salon, our salon, and they didn't want to do any of the things we were doing, they wouldn't be a good fit.
Right.
That's not a culture fit right there. So maybe it's you not hiring the right people or not cultivating or curating the right team. I don't know. Just trying to help people by brainstorming. It's an interesting thing. Like when people, like you said, almost want to force people to do this. Like you have to fit in this mold, or else you're not a hairstylist. If I don't go to big hair shows, which I don't because they're a complete waste of time. Unless you're going for fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
there's value in it. Like,
what are you trying to get out of it? But if no one's wanting to go, then you might need to adjust.
My entire identity isn't hair and salons. I have other interests, so I don't want to spend my time having fun doing work stuff. I get it though. Yeah, it's a balance. All right, I'll go. I can't stall anymore. So I've got 2 opening takes. My first one, it has to do with I guess they both have to do with things that clients notice or don't notice. Cleanliness. I'm going to just touch on this. We were working at another salon and our clients commented about the cleanliness of the salon. And that was like a light bulb moment for me because I guess not a light bulb moment. That's not the right term because I already knew that cleanliness was important to our clients. But when they approach you and they tell you because of certain situations, it's like a cosign. Like I know now for a fact that cleanliness is important. So I can take that to our staff and say, hey, when you guys drop stuff on the floor and don't pick it up, I know you don't think it's a big deal. Our clients notice. You know how I know they notice? Because they point it out. That's how I know they notice. So you've got, and that's just a small example, but cleanliness can mean so many things to so many people. Sanitization habits, just general cleanliness. A lot of salons think that they're being clean because their floors don't have hair on them. Well, clients notice other stuff too that you do, or steps that you skip, or just things that they notice. So I'll leave that one there. Unless you have anything to add to it, Jen.
I think also I think we have, with that scenario of when we were in that other place, the lack of cleanliness that was happening there, it showed our staff truly what was important and why. And then there were some clients that even it was just like, wow, I didn't realize how much that was important to me, being in a clean environment. And I think that was just interesting to see. We came in and started cleaning right away to try to bring it to our standard, but you can only do so much.
All right, my second opening take is things that clients don't care about. In the gym world, and I'm going to just use this example and then I'll bring it into the hair world. It was like trendy to accumulate a bunch of certificates. So I think I don't even know how many I had by the end, but I had certificates we would travel. I went to Florida, went to Canada, went all around to get these certificates in mobility, in kettlebells, in creating programs.
I even got some too.
Yeah, just by default, you want to go? certifications just in general. We'd collect those. Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting classes. We'd get certified in everything and anything. And for some reason, we thought that was going to bring clients in. Never once, never did I have a client walk through the door and say, "What sort of certifications do you have?" Never once. I wish.
You're like, oh my God,
Because
I
it
have a
would
whole
have been,
book of them. Let me show you. Do you really want
I
to
would
see
have
it?
been like,
See my scrapbook?
look at my wall. I have more certificates than the lawyers have up or doctors have up in their offices. The accumulation of credentials doesn't really do much to build your business. I know we think it does, especially in the hair world. Now let's bring this into the hair world. We think I invest in my education. Clients do not care. They don't care. They expect that you do that stuff. You don't have to tell everybody. When you are in the military, it's expected that you're training. It's expected that you know how to use your weapon. Like that stuff is expected. You don't have to tell everybody that you're training. Same thing in the hair industry. And why I'm bringing this up is because I recently saw someone that advertised they were promoting this sponsored or whatever ad. And they were like, I have all these color certifications or whatever it was. And they listed like a number. And I was like, wow, that's a lot. Let me see. So I went on their website just out of curiosity, opened up their booking software, wide open. That is not bringing clients in. The client, you have to think of something else because clients don't care about that at all. So that's all I got on that. That's my opening take. You have anything, Jen?
I would say I don't think people need certificates, to be honest. And I work for a brand that one time they were dabbling in, should we give a certificate if they take these classes? I don't seem to meet people that think, to me, it's a waste of paper and I'm in for the environment. So don't do that. But where I do think there's value in some of these classes or ones that actually are helping your skill set is when you finally do get these clients and you retain them for year after year after year. Here's what I see now I'm in my 26th or 27th year of doing hair, is it's very apparent the people that are doing hair at my years in the business that haven't done anything. And I start now getting these clients because they're like, I know you're investing in your education and you can do work that's like relevant to today's world. You're not just slapping on my color. So I think there's a part where do the certificates matter? No. But I think as you get retention, you have clients for a long time, they do enjoy that you're working on that education and it will help you retain them longer.
Yeah, I guess mine was more as like a marketing
Yeah,
thing.
totally. It's not going to get people in the chair, but when you start getting momentum, you're going to need some of that to show that you're relevant and you're innovative and you're doing techniques that exist in the year you're operating.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to say current day.
That reminded me of that movie thing you showed me this morning.
All right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I just don't see it as I've never been asked if I was even licensed at cutting hair. I've never had a client walk through the door and be like, do you have a license? But people put so much stock into it. And that's the thing that professionalizes our industry. I don't see it at all. Anyway, what are some other things that people focus on?
Clients, you mean?
That's where I paused. How I want to say the sentence. So what are some things I guess clients focus on where owners maybe have like a disconnect? I guess we'll put it that way.
Oh, that's a
I think there's always going to be these things that owners and even stylists in the businesses who are working, they think certain things are important, but to clients, they don't matter at all. Or, yeah, I guess they're just not important. What are some things?
I got to think here. Jeez. Because it's like what's important to me may not be important to someone else. So,
I have a bunch of stuff that.
all right, let's rattle a
clients-
few and see what my brain comes up with.
I think so. I made a list of things that I feel clients notice right away. And I've had conversations with clients from other places that come into ours, and we'll just ask straight up, like, why did you choose us? Or what, or specific questions to get this information. So energy is one of the ones. And I guess along with that is body language.
I absolutely agree with this one. And now that you said it, is we get clients all the time that have left other salons, and they're just like, the energy in there was very negative, and they were just like, it was clear as day to them that the staff just didn't get along or whatever, and they were like, it was just very uncomfortable. They didn't work together. It just didn't have great energy. And then they come into Hello and they're like, this is amazing. You guys all help each other. You're all out here. You're doing this. You're helping doing this. Yeah, just that energy brings their energy up, right? Or they get to talk to other clients, and they're like, it's so inviting in here. And that is definitely something that is very important to clients.
Yeah, I had that on there because it's something that I think is often overlooked by the people in the space. For example, we have a young staff, and there are times where they're having conversations and maybe they're talking negative in whatever. They're not trying to, but I think it last podcast you talked about this. You talk about it quite often where you'll pull someone aside and say, hey, do you hear how you sound?
Totally. It's not hard to say. And then they're like, oh my God, why did I do that? Like, they don't even realize what's coming out of their mouth most of the time.
Right. And so you have to shift that
Yes.
energy, because that's something that you think maybe I'm speaking softly enough to keep this down, but people pick up on the vibe.
Right.
They pick up on the energy, and that's not something that you can hide. I think another one too is pace, and how either calm or chaotic things are.
Yes.
So I have been around people, stylists, barbers, that are like, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I'm so busy. And they're like running around and they're like, I'm so busy. And stuff's going everywhere and they're making a
Look like
mess.
a
And they
spaz.
think, they think either they're not thinking, or they think I'm so busy because I'm good or something like that. Like that somehow that
Mhm.
impacts, where clients look at that and they're like, what? This is not relaxing at all.
Yeah, you're a hot
And
mess.
I can tell you from a fact, we used to have people at our salon that worked like that, but they'd lose clients and people would complain, and other clients would be like giving the side eye, like, what is this person doing? Because it's just a lot of chaos for no reason whatsoever. Again, I guess that goes back to body language too.
Yeah. Well, and that's the energy
You can't
you're giving
control.
out. So you start the clients absorbing that, and they're probably feeling anxious because they're like, oh, this is just chaotic.
Exactly.
I thrive when I make mistakes, not that often anymore, but there are times where I've forgot to put an appointment in my book and someone shows up. And I have been able to every single time not even allow that client to even know that I didn't put the appointment in, that they might be around another one. It's so seamless that I want them to feel like, oh, okay. Like, they don't even know. Like, they'll leave and the staff's, you didn't even tell them they came on the wrong day. And I was like, no, they don't need to know. It's fine. They're having an off day. I'm just going to make it work and not even have them notice and still have the best time ever. I will say our new floors in the salon, P.S., we have new floors. They make me walk slower. They somehow make me more chill. Didn't know floors could do that. Yeah.
Interesting. So how about how people are treating each other?
Absolutely.
I think clients are always going to observe
Yep.
that. How many times have you gone into like a restaurant, for example, and someone comes out from the back and says something, and then they go out back and the bartender looks at you and rolls their
Yeah.
eyes and they're like, he's just having a day. Really? You're supposed to have his back. You guys work together,
Right.
but you want to talk smack
Yeah.
here at the bar. That's not necessarily the vibe that's going to make somebody feel relaxed, or like they're in a place where they are the focus, like they're being served, you know?
Back to customer service, right? So you have to.
So how people talk to each other, how people help each other, whether it feels like a team. A lot of places are using the word collaborative. I would be interested to see what
Me too.
their version of that looks like, not just what you're saying you are, because it's interesting to me. It's just another buzzword. It's literally our name.
Yeah.
But
And it's what we
again, I'm not
practice
trying to
and do
own.
it every single day.
Yeah, and again, I'm not trying to own a word or anything. That's absurd. But what collaboration or what anything means to one person is very different. Look at the cleanliness thing that we talked about. The other thing I had was tension as far as how people treat each other. You can feel that tension too.
Mhm.
So I think from day one, Jen, we've always told our team, you guys don't have to be friends, but you have to respect each other.
Absolutely. Hands down. I will not tolerate anything else.
Yeah.
I think too, and maybe you have this on your list, and I would say clients have an awareness, but most clients now are going to do some research, right? They're going to go on your Instagram, they're going to go on your Facebook, they're going to go on your website. And
Sure.
then they're going to step into your business, and they're expecting that the website vibe, the Facebook vibe, and the Instagram vibe all have the same vibe when they walk in. And I would say, I don't know numbers, but I don't think majority of salons is like that is as cohesive as it should be. I think aesthetically all these things look great and then they get in and they're like, whoa, this is nothing like what you said you were all about. So I do think clients are looking for a cohesive match of what you're putting out on socials and Google and all that, and that it's looking the same or feeling the same when they arrive at your business.
I have an example. So how do I want to put this? There was a salon, and if you look at their online presence, they are the happiest people in the world. And I have heard with my own ears from clients that there's like screaming matches on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has to match, because that would be awkward for me if I walked in and people were just fucking fighting it out like on the floor. Like, that's insane.
Like,
to
none
me.
of it looks like how I've seen it even. And there have been I've seen some even recently, like some really great like team pictures, and they're all in like beige and white, or they're all in like white, whatever. And it's an aesthetically,
Whatever this year's
whatever is like popular right now. Aesthetically pleasing. It looks wonderful. But I have been in most of those salons and none of their staff dresses to any bit of that standard. So if I see that on your website, like this is what you look like, it looks professional. They are done up. I expect that similar vibe when I come in, and there's none of that. So that's part of it too. Like then I meet with the person, I've read their bio and I picked them, and they show up in sweatpants and a sweatshirt and their hair's not really done and their makeup's not done. And I'm like, this is not what you look like on your bio. Why not make those the same? So at least I know who I'm picking. Like that was what I'm talking about, this cohesive. It really needs to match from the aesthetics of the business, from all of the stuff, to when I meet you in person. And it's a big disconnect I'm seeing right now.
I agree 100%. And I want to point out too that I think sweatpants are cool, but you should just make that your vibe. Why are you?
Right. That should be in your bio picture. And we say it all the time, like our staff we have rules for dress code, but we want each person to dress their own way. But also like you can have a more laid back look, but your hair and makeup best be on point. Like you have to show up looking like you give a crap.
For sure. What else do clients notice that we might be overlooking? I have a big one here, and it's confidence and clarity.
Okay.
Have you ever gone somewhere and they explain every step of everything to you, and you're like, I don't understand what's happening right now. I'm just confused by this. I used to work with someone and I really tried to have them break this habit, but they refused, and they're not on our team anymore. But they would explain everything and ask like the smallest detailed questions to people, and it wasn't coming across as thorough like a consultation. It was coming across as unsure.
Correct.
Because at a certain point you have to perform the service. At a certain point you should have the information that you need to go.
Yeah.
So when you're asking every cut of the hair, or you're like, okay, now I'm going to do this, do you want me to do this or that? Do you want this style? Do you want me to round this here? That's too much. The person,
you're making the person nervous now. You're like,
right,
why are you giving me all this? Just cut the damn hair.
Right. You have, it just comes across that you have no plan or no confidence in yourself. And when you over explain things, that's, I would say, what most people pick up.
Agreed.
That was something I learned early on, Jen, when I started personal training. I sucked at it. I was terrible. And I would think I'm going to impress my clients with using the names of muscles and stuff like that. And people would be like, quadratus, what?
Like, why?
And I would just be like, all right, we can call it the QL for short. And people would then say, why do we have to call it anything? Can't I just
work? Just give me my workout.
And I just point at my back and say, this is tight. Yeah, I guess so.
I'm not here
but
for
I just
that.
I just learned all this fancy language and I want to use it. And I think that's how it is in every industry, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure if you're a young chef working in a restaurant, you want to impress the chefs that are working with you or your kitchen staff.
And unfortunately, generally, whatever you're trying to do to impress is doing the opposite.
Yeah, you just look stuck up or
like a know-it-all. And generally, if you look like a know-it-all, it's because you don't know anything and you're trying to pretend.
Exactly. People that overly explain or use technical terms for everything, you're missing a connection with your client.
We coach the staff. I call it like the stop talking. Like when we're teaching them how to consult and talk to clients and all that, there's always a point where I'm like, okay, now is where I like tap you on the shoulder. Stop talking. And now I want you to listen. Don't start formulating your next sentence. Don't start formulating your next question. Like truly listen to what's happening.
Start formulating the hair.
Yeah, any of it. Stop talking, stop, and really absorb what's happening next with this client experience.
Yeah, I guess that's just an early career versus experience thing there. Again, I've been guilty of it. And when I realized it, I was like, I don't even have to remember all these technical terms.
No.
And I lost them all too, because clients don't use that language with you.
It's funny you said that, because now where I'm at in my career, like sometimes clients will say to me, like, every time I get my hair done, like this always happens. And I'll actually stop and I'm like, do you want to know why? Or are you just telling me? Like, I can explain to you why this is happening and blah, 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 blah. And they're like, yeah, actually I do. And so now we can talk about it, whatever. And it's just fun. But I do ask them, like, do you want me to explain this to you? Or are you just kind of shooting the shit with me? What's going on?
That's funny, because last week I noticed that I started doing that too.
Yeah.
I was cutting someone's hair and they mentioned something. And I said, do you want me to explain why that's a myth, or do you want to keep believing that? Because it doesn't matter to me
same
at all.
here. What do you want this visit to be about? It's yours. Totally cool. I have enough information in my brain. I'll share it all day. But if you don't want to hear it, let's move on.
Yeah, it doesn't affect the way that I'm going to cut your hair. So if you want to still believe that, I don't care what you're saying at your family picnics or whatever. All right. Some other things. What about details? I think clients notice details a lot more than we not give them credit for, but more than we value.
Okay.
For example, how quick is somebody greeted when they walk through the door?
I hope very quickly.
Yeah, it should be seconds. It should be, because it takes, I don't care if you're with a client. You can turn your head and say, hey, welcome. Somebody will be right over.
Absolutely. It's the acknowledgement. A client needs to be acknowledged immediately so that they're like, okay, someone knows I'm here. I'm like, because we'll do it at the salon. I'm like, someone will be right out for you. Or if I have a minute, I'll grab them. But that acknowledgement is huge.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll say, hey, how are you? Like exactly that. Somebody will be right over, or we'll be with you in a minute. Just that acknowledgement is huge, because there's so many times you walk into, say, I always use restaurants because I love them. You walk into a restaurant, if nobody acknowledges you, I start thinking, should I just leave?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because if they're not acknowledging me, then what is this whole experience going to look like?
Right. And then if they acknowledge me immediately, I'll always, if they say, I'll be with you in a moment, it's always, take your time.
Yeah.
I completely flip it. And it's now because I was simply acknowledged. And if we're feeling this way, that must mean other people feel this way. And if you disagree, that's fine too. You can run your business however you want. We're not here to preach. I just thought this would be a fun episode of.
I can tell you this: if you don't acknowledge them, whether that client realizes it or not, they're starting to get salty and they're starting to get anxious. And then when you do finally go over, like they might even come off a little rude, but that's because like they're irritated. And then it'll dissipate. But the quicker you can just acknowledge, they'll just be in a better place.
All their little details, how smooth the process goes.
Mm-hmm.
So from that check-in to taking someone's coat to offering a beverage to, if you have that down, that sort of just system, which is becoming a buzzword in the industry now. But when you have a system for things, because you just do them the same way over and over, it takes the guesswork out. So it makes that flow nicer for the client experience. And it makes it nicer for your staff too, because they don't have to just guess at everything. Like, for example, we have Piper, who's an assistant coming onto the floor soon. Is she already on the floor? Yeah. Awesome. So that was quick, by the way. If you're listening, you're looking for a job, we get you up and running quick. What was I going to say? Oh, one day she was checking out a client. I just happened to be walking by and she was like, would you like credit or debit? And I went over and I was like, you don't have to ask that because the card prompt does. And she was like, oh, I thought I should ask that because at my other job. And I'm like, yeah, no, you don't. With our system, it's just hand them this and
good to go.
It's all set. Yeah, it's good to go. And she was like, oh, that makes it easier. I'm like, yeah, it's just one less friction point. You're making the client think one less time, which is giving them a little more relaxation. It's just a smoother process. Timing, I think, is another thing that I think some people expect to run late and then they always run late. And then to me, that wouldn't be a good fit. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there that are like, my clients will wait because they know I always run late. Why though? Why do you not care so much that you can't be on time? Just adjust.
And eventually
just
they'll leave you. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, I don't have all day to sit there to wait for you.
Mm-hmm. I've started when my first job. I worked with a good friend of mine, and she's still in our life today. Shout out Corey. We'll go there. And we worked at a mall, and Corey would always run late, and her clients got so used to going shopping, and they loved it because they're like, my husband doesn't even have to worry about it. They just think I'm getting my hair done, but I can shop, get my hair done, whatever. Well, Corey broke her arm. So then I start getting Corey's clients until Corey can come back, and I don't run late. And I literally, for a little bit there, they were like, the clients didn't know what to do. Oh, you're on time. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, you can shop at the end of your appointment, but I'm going to run on time. No longer is like that. She runs on time too now, but kind of funny there. I think clients really, well, it's in our mission to give clients back part of their day. So time is huge. And I think if you don't believe that it's important to them and you keep doing that, you're going to lose them. I just started acquiring new clients because I'm pretty quick and I do run on time. And a lot of these clients, like, I have kids now and stuff. I have to go. I need to get home, where 5 years ago, that wasn't a thing. So it didn't matter if their stylist ran late, but now they're in a new world. They don't have time for people to run late. So I happen to now, it's because whenever I get a new client, how'd you hear about me? And they're like, my husband's, wow, she's quick. You run on time. Like, you're not out there for this many hours. And that has become something that people start to value. So maybe you think right now they don't care, but eventually they're going to care. And then you're going to have to figure out how to work on your timing.
Well, part of that too is I just think how you age. So we're all aging.
Yeah.
Everyone gets older every year. So when you start and you're in your 20s, going shopping and stuff is cool because those are your clients that you're going to have. You're always going to have clients that are around your age, right? Maybe a decade younger, maybe or two, a decade older. But for most of us, your clients are going to be around your age. So when you're in your 20s, it doesn't matter to go walk around the mall because I have time. When I get in my 30s, 40s, people have kids. People have to get their kids from school to sports. I got to get dinner on the table. I don't have that same amount of time. So if you think it's not important, it might not be important right now, but it might be something to think about in the future when you are confused why your clients might be leaving you to go somewhere that's quicker.
Yeah. So true.
That's all. And again, clients don't expect perfection. None of this stuff is perfection. What they do expect is consistency and for you to own whatever you're doing. It's yours. Let's flip it and we can close up. We can close up on this. Okay. What are some things that clients don't care about?
What
as much as owners think they care about, or as much as relative to how much effort an owner or a stylist will put into that thing?
The beverages and the snacks. I can't stand when people are advertising about what beverages and snacks are given out. I'm sorry. I didn't come here for that. Cool if you have it. I'm not saying whatever, but that's not definitely pulling people in your door because of your beverages and snacks, nor should it. You do hair. Like, that's what you should be marketing.
Yeah. I didn't have that in my notes, but I agree with that one 100%. My first one I had was your logo.
Oh yeah. No one cares.
Nobody cares.
They might think it's cool, but again, they're not coming into your business because of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm not saying it's not important. I just think that people put an overwhelming amount of time into some florally super cursive writing logo that you can't even read from the road. So like our logo, for example, if you look again, not saying it's better or worse, or I'm not comparing it to anyone out there. But what we did was we thought to ourselves, well, where is this logo going to be used? Well, it's going to be used on the side of a building and on signs for starters, because we need to attract people in. Okay, then it needs to be what? Easy to read.
Yep.
So instead of going with the traditional Salon cursive that you can't read or using the papyrus font from the 1990s, we decided to have block lettering.
Clean, easy, and then also include what are we? Like salon or something, right? So that they understand what services are being done in a quick read when they're driving by.
Yeah. Hello, Hair Co. Beauty and Barber. So, what point was I going to make? Oh, where that trickles into other stuff too is your design stuff. Now, I don't think clients necessarily care about like your merch, but I have seen people struggle. So, here's an example. Someone posted online, I think this was fairly recently, that they were having trouble with their logo being printed on stuff because it was like too fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was not legible. And then they wanted to have it embroidered, but the embroidery wouldn't work because it was like too detailed of a thing. And I just thought, yeah, if you thought ahead or had an alternate logo, because
Right.
you can have multiple logos, but
that's just showing the flaws in their logo rather than think this should be legible on everything I try to put it on.
right. When you think about a logo, think about it needs to be like, look at Nike's logo. You're going to recognize that even when they don't write Nike.
Mm-hmm. They can just put
And
a
it's
swoosh
easy.
and you already know.
That's what I just
Oh,
said.
you said swoosh?
I didn't say swoosh, but I said their logo,
Yeah,
which is a swoosh.
I wanted to say swoosh.
Everybody knows. It's a swoosh.
Swoosh.
Jeez.
I say swoosh.
How are you even alive?
Not
How'd
sure.
you even get this?
I don't know.
All right. Anyway, so what about your design choices? Again, look, I know this is important to you, and I'm not trying to knock anybody out there, but your clients don't really care about your tchotchkes all around the salon. It's not that important. So just throw them up there, Carol, and let's go. All right. You get nothing. So I'll just
I mean, what am I going to
close
say?
up.
Put it this way. If you open a salon next year and then you move 2 years later, they're not going to be like, is your logo the same? And are you bringing your tchotchkes? That's not something if you put it like, that's not going to be important to them.
Yeah, exactly. You have to look at it through their eyes. What are clients looking for? Are they looking for a certain decor? I don't think so. I think they'd go to you based more on other factors, which I'm going to list out. So I think what clients are thinking is, do I feel comfortable here?
Mm-hmm.
How about this one? Do I trust this person? It's hard to trust somebody that's frantically running around, spilling stuff all over the place, over-explaining.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to trust that person knows what they're doing. They are going to ask questions like, do I enjoy being here? Now, some of that might be decor or whatever,
mm-hmm.
but I think there are different things that you could focus on. And I think, too, people think, do I feel taken care of? Because at the end of the day, it's service industry,
Right.
and you're supposed to be of service to people. They don't care about what you designed. They care about how you feel. Do you need that stuff? Yes, you have to have a logo, but I don't think you have to put so much thought into it with the wrong view.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how else to say it.
So this is funny.
I think a lot of salons just copy what they see out there, and you should think of it as an experience. That's what people are looking for, not an aesthetic. And I'm not saying don't have a nice vibe, don't have a clean.
But if you're trying to
place.
attract clients, like that's not where your time should be wasted, is really what it comes down to.
Right. It's the time thing.
Yeah.
I guess this episode boils down to that is where should you be spending your time? Because a lot of people think they should be spending their time on certain things that don't really compound.
Yeah.
They don't really help your business long term.
So with the flood, we had these in our waiting area, and those of you that have been to the salon will just laugh. These chairs that I think are the coolest chairs in the whole wide world, but they are uncomfortable. They're hard for clients to get out of, and we've had them now out there for 6 years. But again, my time wasn't to go shopping for new chairs for the front of the salon. Sit, don't sit, figure it out. So flood happens, we reopen. I'm like, all right, these chairs got to go. I'm aware. So we move some other chairs to the front, and we didn't lose clients over these chairs. That's why they didn't really matter. But it is interesting. We've moved new chairs in there, and the clients that are like, wow, these are really great chairs. But I didn't have to waste my time figuring out chairs. I took 2 from the barber area, and I'm like, let's just put these over here. There's so much more bandwidth for my brain. Chairs don't matter. And we didn't lose clients over chairs that weren't comfortable.
And since you stole them from me, I'll just go
get new ones.
I'll go get new chairs, and they'll be dope.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, I think that's it. That's cool. I wanted to keep this sort of chill. I don't know if people got value out of it or not, but
Of course they did.
I still think there's people that are going to listen and then be like, the logo's important no matter what. Like, no matter what I say.
I mean,
no
you
matter what
have to have
anyone
a logo
says.
or something with your brand name on it. Totally cool. It's just realizing the time factor of like how much time you should be spending on that versus growing your business, understanding your numbers, running your business, that kind of thing.
It's funny. The logo thing, I think, is something that sticks in my head because when I was in barber school, it was like not that long ago, 7 years ago, maybe. And there were people like in school that were like posting their logos. Like, I got my barber logo. I got this. I'm thinking, and hairstylist too. Like, I got my logo. You're a student. What do you need a logo for? You're just, it put so much bandwidth into something that is irrelevant.
Yeah. Should put more into like technically growing.
Learning how to cut
Yeah.
hair. That'd be a good start.
Mhm.
Anyways, all right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.